More and more of our gaming time is being spent online, and more services are adhering a little closer to their code of conduct. Hey folks, it's Falcon, and today on gameranx, 10 things that could get you banned from Xbox Live or PSN. Number 10, it may not sound like it's cheating, but exploiting the game using glitches. When I say it may not sound like cheating, it's because glitches are not intentional. A cheat is usually something that is a backdoor that's been left inside, or some piece of software running to inject certain types of code into the data being transmitted from you, the client, to the server, the central game. A glitch, on the other hand, is just something that doesn't work right, and people exploit them all the time. Does that mean that the platform holder views that as not cheating? Well, it was quite a long time ago, but Microsoft was just like, no, we don't care. The director of policy and enforcement with Xbox Live, way back in the day, referred to it as cheating a glitch, and noted that using a glitch or bug to gain advantages against their terms of service, and this was way back in 2009, almost a decade ago. They understand it's gonna happen, and they don't care. Especially with stuff like Fortnite and PUBG now, where, to use the Microsoft parlance, cheating a glitch has the potential to affect a lot of players per game. You should make the assumption that repeatedly using a glitch to gain some kind of advantage is not something you're going to do. Number 9 is shit talking, and that doesn't necessarily just mean shit talking other players. For instance, Demolition D about 7 months ago got temporarily banned for shit talking the PS4. Now that doesn't mean every platform holder is watching every person to see if they mention that PS4 is bad or Xbox is bad or whatever. Demolition D obviously has somewhat of an audience, and him shit talking a platform as a known personality is a little bit different than you shit talking a platform, but shit talking platforms players just being a general douche in the game, it's not necessarily against the rules, but you never know when you're going to cross that line. To be truthful, even if it's not in the rules, they own the platform, they make the rules, they can pretty much do whatever they want, which is kind of a little scary when you think about it. Number 8, using usernames that are offensive. Now, knowing that offensive means different things for different people, that can be a tough to navigate space. For instance, if you go looking around, you can find stories like people who got banned for names that they created when they were, 8 years younger and first starting playing video games that may resemble like a curse word or something. And then there's people like a gentleman by the name of Jihad al-Mofada who got banned for having jihad in his name despite it being his actual real name. And although technically it's offensive, it's not a word that just explicitly means one thing. He used his passport and ID to actually prove to Sony through the course of some email correspondence that that was his real name, and they still wouldn't let him keep it. Again, you're at their mercy, it's their rules, it's their house, but that does kind of suck. In fact, it's probably just gotta suck to be named Jihad. Number 7, filing a credit card claim for a PlayStation Network purchase can get your account banned. Now, what exactly does that mean? Well, let's say somebody hacks into your account, which is not impossible, might I add. It can happen. It has happened to me, but it can. Let's say they buy more than $150 worth of purchases, which is coincidentally the limit that Sony will refund. $150. You go to your credit card company and say, hey, there were fraudulent purchases made in my name using the PlayStation Network on my credit card. If your credit card company does a chargeback, you will most likely be banned. There are countless stories across the internet involving this exact thing, including some that go above and beyond hacking and involve simply the auto renew of PlayStation Plus getting them banned because of some sort of chargeback automation, which is ridiculous. Number 6, if you get banned, a good way to get back on the service is not suing for $55,000. A guy from California claimed that he had agoraphobia, and being banned constituted a massive invasion of his right to free speech and the ability to interact with others. But his ban was for bad behavior, which usually constitutes more than just even cursing. Not that it's not on this list as something you might want to avoid if you don't want to get banned, but I'm guessing he got banned for a reason. Still, suing them and not just complaining to customer service is probably not the way to go about getting it back, and probably kept him banned. because I sincerely doubt he won that kind of a lawsuit. I mean, he was asking for $55,000. Number 5, sending hateful messages to people, and not just like, "Oh, you suck at this game, man." A lot of the time this involves targeting a specific person, following them, stalking them through other games, and it's not always easy to do, but there are people who figure out how to do it and continually send messages to or direct messages at a player that are generally hateful or over the top or just generally something that sounds totally nuts. So if that's something you engage in, perhaps it is time to think about it. Why are you doing this? As they get tighter with this kind of stuff, that's going to be what they look at. And it really, truly doesn't matter whatever you're mad at. I know it feels like it matters, but you can just play another round. Number 4, you can actually get banned if you use your real name and it's a slang word. Whether that slang word is deemed a curse word or not doesn't matter. For instance, a gentleman by the name of Christopher Gooch, yes, that is Christopher Gooch's real name, got banned for using his actual last name as a username. Now, in a lot of ways, this is very similar to the gentleman with the name of Jihad. It's not really something that he has control over, and this maybe shouldn't be a policy, but these people just get banned. You have to be careful. If you're making a username and it sounds like it could be banned, even if it's your real name, don't use it. I mean, there's a lot of reasons not to use your real name anyway, but still. Number 3, you can get banned from certain services for offensive language. For instance, Microsoft, which as you know can on the fly translate what you're saying to another language in text, and they can probably search it and flag certain things to pop up at some moderator's desk somewhere. Apparently, offensive language can actually get you banned. However, it was thought to be a policy change not long ago, and they said, no, it's not a policy change. We just have better technology now. Which, I mean, cool, but you've always been banning people for that? Number 2 is using a lag switch. There's a device that you can use to slow or stop data from a modem that essentially causes you to be invincible in a lot of games. The reason this works is because of the way an online game keeps track of where you are. If the game lags for everyone, then it just seems like you're sort of teleporting around as the systems all catch up to each other. But if somebody's using a lag switch, everyone else lags and they just move around doing the things that they would do while everyone else is kind of like, what's going on? But if they do it enough, usually servers tend to be able to tell and ban them, but there's people who get away with it. And finally, number 1, if you can jailbreak whatever console you are using, you shouldn't log in. Now, in a lot of cases, it's just not that fun to no longer log in, and some people risk it because having a console that can do whatever they want, including cheat, is fun for them. It still gets you banned from time to time, they can tell. But especially considering the fact that people are jailbreaking everything at all times, I don't know, it's not a guaranteed ban, but seems like it probably is a likely ban. Have you ever gotten banned for cheating or one of these other sort of cheating adjacent things? Or if you know anybody else who has done the same, leave us a comment, let us know what you think, and if you enjoyed this video, please click like. If you're not subscribed, now's a great time to do so. We upload brand new videos every day of the week, and the best way to see them first is, of course, a subscription. As always, we thank you very much for watching this video. I'm Falcon. You can follow me on Twitter at Falcon the Hero, and we'll see you next time right here on gameranx.